Welcome back to another episode of Network is My Net Worth. I'm your host here, Rel Purnell, aka Carl Shorel. The other half's gonna be in here in just a second, J Hall Agent. But today, man, we're gonna be talking about Think and Grow Rich with my guy Ben Williams and also Griffin Ballin family. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice little discussion about that. Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, so it's a lot of gems in that book, man, that just pretty much just changed my whole mindset. As far as me, as far as how the way I look at life, the outlook, pretty much on everything, man. So let me bring in a few people and we can get this thing started. Looks like I need to make a quick little drop in the comments below, and we'll be started right along. Let me. Ben,
What's going on? What's going on?
what's up, my guy?
How you feeling?
Let me hold on, I got you on the headset. All right, we should be good now.
Okay.
Griffin, let me add you up in here.
Griffin, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? How's you fellas doing, man?
Good, good.
Yeah, things are amazing, brother. Things are amazing. Give me one sec. Let me hit up J Hall. Make sure he coming up in. All right. Well, while we're waiting for him to come in, man, let's start with you, Ben. Just give a quick introduction of who you are, where you're from, and what you're currently doing.
Okay. So, of course, Ben Williams, aka Real Talk Ben, born and raised here in Baltimore, Maryland. Been in the cleaning industry. My father and I started a company back in 2007, still in existence today. So 14 years. About a year ago, I actually started my own company called BioSwiftix, specializing in a lot of commercial cleaning as well as disinfecting and trauma scene cleanup and real estate part time. I'm married. Author, my book Eagles Mandate came out recently on iTunes. I mean, not iTunes yet, but on Audible as well as Amazon. So that's pretty much it, man. Pretty down to earth guy. Love to travel, love cars. Just love to help and inspire people.
Love it. Griffin, the floor is yours.
Oh, hey,
I'm calling you Griffin, man. I can call you by your last name.
Yeah,
Jermaine. The floor is yours, man.
that's cool. That's cool. I was in the military. They used to call me just Griffin. That's all right. My name is Jermaine Griffin. I was born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan, just the city right smack dead in the middle of Detroit and Flint. I'm now in right outside of Dallas, Texas, in Arlington, Texas, working in General Motors. Excuse me. Married with 7 children from 28 all the way down to 6. It goes 28, 24, 20, 20, 12, 10, and 6 years old. I was an electronic technician in the United States Navy for 6 years, excuse me. 4 years of I got my baby running around here. I did 4 years enlistment, 2 years of schooling. Been at General Motors for over 15 years. I have an Amazon FBA partnership. That's my LLC that we're doing. We have a YouTube channel, Griffin Family Ballin', and that's where we're at today.
And good stuff, good stuff. J Hall Agent, appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. Give a quick little intro, because I know this is your first time meeting the gang.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. First off, fellas, thanks for coming on. My apologies. Ben, you'll know, man, I'm in the real estate business myself. I had a fire that wasn't willing to die at prior to 7 p.m.
Oh,
So
man.
I had to I had to put that out, man, to keep this deal together.
Right.
And then hurry up and jump on. So my apologies, guys, but thank you guys for coming on.
Absolutely.
I've been watching your pages and learning, and we'll get into a conversation. I had the pleasure to meet you by accident when you actually introduced the book Think and Grow Rich to Rel. What? I ain't get that deep into it, my guy. All right. We'll tap that later.
Yeah. Well,
we'll
actually,
tap
you
that
know what?
later.
No, go ahead. That'll be a great segue. I love it. Go ahead.
Nah, so it's I had a pleasure to meet Ben in passing. You know, I was with you. Rel and I were actually still doing car shows at the time, and we were doing business with Security Mall. So we were up there for a meeting, and then coming out of there, he was like, "Yo, man, you see that Camaro right there? Like, well, that's my man Ben. I gotta pull up on Ben real quick." So I'm like, "All right, you know," and we and you were holding court out there, and you had like a whole group of guys surrounded you, and you had a copy of The Secret and Think and Grow Rich in your hand. And I stood in for that conversation and just listened and observed, and you know, went and bought the book immediately after that. So you know, through that, I've always had a lot of positive conversations in passing with Rel about, yo, you know, my guy Ben is super successful, and we gotta, if he's willing to give us some time on the show, we gotta have him on.
Absolutely.
You know, before he gets to so much stardom that we can't catch him.
Appreciate it.
Jermaine, it's a pleasure, man. I've checked out your pages and stuff like that to get a feel for you as a person, Jermaine, and it seems like you got a lot of value to provide to us as well. And thank you for even taking the time to come on this platform, man, because you built your own platform, and you could have easily said, "I ain't got no time to talk to these guys." So I appreciate you.
Not that type of guy.
I appreciate you even tapping in and jumping on with us, man. So I'm ready to get into the discussion. And again, my apologies for my tardiness today.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's all good. It's all good. So, you know, J Hall Agent mentioned, you know, you dropped the book upon me, and we were talking about in passing maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and me and J Hall, we just was talking about you know, wealth principles, success principles, audios, you know, books that that empowers your mind and you know, kind of change your way of thinking from how you typically were taught from growing up. And I completely forgot about how I was introduced to the book. And he was like, "Yo, I was there. You got the book." He was like, "Bro, it was like 2011 or something like that. We was at the show, and your boy Ben pulled up on you and gave you the book." And it just went. I just started having flashbacks. Like, yeah, Ben did give me the book. Oh snap! Okay. So you know, it all makes sense now, man. It all came, and it, you know, it's all coming back together. You know, from almost 10 years ago, because I think it was 2012 that you gave me that book, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason.
No, I think 2012 sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I got the question I want to kick off for both of you guys, since, you know, the topic is about, you know, Think and Grow Rich, law of attraction, wealth building, success principles, and everything like that. First of all, for you, Ben, how were you introduced to the book? When were you introduced to the book? Like, give us that whole rundown.
Okay. So for me, I always call it a aha moment, you know, where you just have that conscious interrupt. You know, oftentimes in our lives, certain events occur so that you can change the path that you're on. And for me, it started out in 2011 when I received a call from a good friend of mine from high school named Brian Stewart. And what he said was like, "Man, we're going to get rich. you know, we're gonna make all this money. He was like, man, just be ready, put on a sharp outfit and show up to this hotel on Thursday night. So I said, all right, cool. I'm with it, because I mean, always had a burning desire to gain wealth. You know, one of my favorite cars as a young kid has always been a Lamborghini. So I showed up to the meeting, and it was a network marketing meeting. And you know, a lot of people, you know, call them get rich quick schemes. But what network marketing did for me, it completely changed my thinking pattern. What I refer to it as is a self-personal development company with a business model attached to it, because you learn so many different wealth principles, or so many principles that will allow you to become successful in any area of your life, not just network marketing. So for me, even if I hadn't made any money, which I did make money from network marketing, but even if I hadn't earned any money from that opportunity, just the information and the books and the audios that they referred was just life-changing for me. So that's where I was introduced to Think and Grow Rich, The Strangest Secret, and so many other videos and audio books. That's where it started for me.
Man, good stuff, good stuff. Jermaine, I'm gonna ask you the same question, man. How were you introduced to the book? You know, when were you introduced to the book as well?
Well, watching YouTube, I come across this YouTube station called VYBO. I think it's the initials for Visualize Yourself Beyond Ordinary. And I just started listening to these affirmations or whatnot. And it was one that had a picture of Jay-Z on it. And it mentioned something about Think and Grow Rich. And Earl Nightingale was a commentator on it. And I was just listening to the certain stuff that he just kept saying about this book. So, like most things I do, I go to Amazon and see, well, let me see what this book is. And I end up ordering it. And I read it. And after I read it, man, it was just a mind-changing, a life-changing book. Like they say, the hand that picked it up wasn't the same hand that put it back down. I mean, it just opened my mind up to all different type of things. I mean, it related to every situation I've ever seen of a wealthy person or a wealthy idea of anything. And it just, like I said, blew and changed my mind all at the same time. It started letting me have a different consciousness and start looking out of my eyes. My eyes were like, it's like it just pulled the shades off my eyes. I had a more of a prosperity consciousness versus a poverty consciousness. And I mean, when you have that, it's like you have this abundance feel. I mean, you see money as an abundance versus, you know, limited, or, I mean, like I said, it was just mind blowing, man. Pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, 1000%, man. Jay Hall, what about you?
So my introduction, I kind of sort of gave it away earlier, was by accident from Ben. And you know what, the biggest lesson I got from that I want to point out from that introduction is that you have to be willing and open to listen. When a lot of successful people, unfortunately, don't want to listen to other successful people, right? Because they think it makes you weak. Like if I'm a boss and Ben's a boss, but I pick up something from Ben, that means I'm less than. No, it's Ben's paying it forward, and I get to hear it and listen to it and kind of sort of manifest it. And when I did, after I had heard Ben talk to you about it, I went online and started looking. And what made me want the book even more was learning about Napoleon Hill. And once I learned about Napoleon Hill, and a lot of what he talked about resonated with some of the things that Ben had discussed with you that he had picked up from the book. And I just went into this Napoleon Hill kind of wormhole. And it led me to, like, let me order the book and read it. And for me, my thing is, whenever I pick up a piece of literature, if I can't put it down, then it's the one. Like if I pick it up and I can read it a little bit and maybe come back to it in a couple weeks or something like that, it's not resonating with me. But if I read it and I feel like, all right, yo, turn the TV off. I can't pay attention to dinner. Like, I need to get through this. That's what identifies to me that it was the one. And it was so funny because after that, I don't know what it's been, but I've seen Think and Grow Rich on social media more in the last 5 years than I had ever heard about it back then.
I agree.
And it's almost like it's like a new generation of people are learning about his greatness. So that's how I kind of sort of picked up on it.
Yeah, man, that is interesting because you know, around the time that we first all kind of got introduced to the book, it was still low key. Like people weren't talking about it on well, Instagram's fairly new at the time. You weren't seeing posts about The Secret. Yo, y'all need to watch The Secret, or Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, or listen to audios like that. That wasn't common back then. So I think it's actually pretty dope that you know, more people are being aware to it. Were you guys in the books at all prior to reading that? Like reading wealth principles or like gaining knowledge through audios or books prior to?
No more than like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know, Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, I read a few of his stuff. Actually went to one of those like Ben was talking about. I went to one of those things that they have at the hotels where you show up and sign up for. But I just didn't have the money to sign up. But I just thought that was a opportunity that I was just missed out on. But yeah, Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book with Donald Trump also. I only saw like read little excerpts of it. Like I'm sorry, Jay was saying certain books that you can get and you don't get into them. You know, you can get a little bit here and a little bit there, and like you said, that just doesn't resonate. But that book, Think and Grow Rich, yeah, it was one of those page turners, man. You just can't put it down. And to add on to that, Dennis Kimbrough, he has the second version of it, which is it's more modern. I believe they opened the vault of the Napoleon Hill estate. That it was a book that he was writing already, and this is for a black choice, meaning that it relates more to our culture. And this is a page. It stands by itself also. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, you might want to check that one out.
Yeah.
I read that book in like 2 days. That's how good it was. I just couldn't put it down.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, as far as personal development, I was never the type of person that would like dive into books, but I always had a burning desire to have more. And I think, you know, and I'm not even gonna say think, you know, we become what we think about. You know, Think and Grow Rich talks about that. The Secret talks about that. And that's what attracted the situations, circumstances, and opportunities for me to be able to gain that information.
No,
For me, wait, bro. I'm sorry.
No, wait, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say for me, I read for work for my career, and you know I love sports, so I read sports related things. It wasn't until the book that I gave you that I shared on our last show, Building Wealth. Once I read Building Wealth, then my mind transitioned into more of the wealth building sorts of things. And then that's when I started learning about the Earl Nightingales. And I had heard some of those names before, but you know, regardless of how far my professional career has taken me, you know, I'm from West Baltimore. So when I hear Earl Nightingale, it's like, man, who? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's so far from my wheelhouse, but reading Building Wealth and then coming into Think and Grow Rich to now at this point, consuming is like I consume whether it's Audible books, regular books on a regular basis because that's what helps me lock in and re-strategize in my business.
Man, I got a question for you guys on the piggy on the back end, you know, of what Jay Hall just mentioned. But I would say for me, you know, I'm kind of along the lines of Ben. Like, you know, you always have a burning desire to do something or to want something. Whereas though if it's, you know, clothes or any type of materialistic, from cars, or, you know, to get a better job, or to get this girl, or to become married, or whatever the case might be, you know, that's your burning desire. And, you know, I'm one of those guys who are always highly ambitious. You can't tell me I can't not going to do it, or I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, that fuels the fire even more for me to do something. When I got introduced to the book, not only did it, you know, gave me a blueprint on how to go about things going forward, and also shift my mindset, but it also showed me that what I was doing in the past was doing exactly what the book was telling me, was telling everybody to do going along. Like, yo, you must have that burning desire. So I start to play things back in my mind, like, oh, when I did this, or when I got that, or when I did this, like, I was doing those principles without even knowing that it's logic and strategic, and, you know, it's things, all these things in the universe that you can cultivate to make it happen. Like, it's actually a formula for it. I was just going through the motion and making things happen. But to piggyback on what you said, Jason, man, do you guys, as far as and you mentioned affirmations, man, do you guys take time out of your day or throughout the week before you get your day started, maybe during the middle of the day, the end of the day, when you wind down? Do you have like a set thing where, you know, you take a couple minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes, you know, out the 24 hours of the day, to focus on yourself, to lock in, to get your mind right, maybe before your day started or before you go to bed? You know, do you guys have like, you know, like a formula that works for you?
For me personally, typically I try to start my mornings off, because that sets the tone for the day. So I normally get up around 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. To get ready to go to the gym. But I pray, I try to look at my goals. I post sticky notes on my bathroom mirror. You know, I read those, you know, just kind of get my mind in the direction of where it is that I want to go. As I'm heading to the gym, I may look at some angel numbers, and then when I get to the gym,
Did you also speak on that as well?
Oh, so yeah, I'll speak on. So angel numbers are numbers that you frequently see when you look at your watch, or when you look at a clock, or you might look at a license plate. They come through different means, and these are sequences of numbers that you may continuously see, and you're like, man, I keep seeing 111, or man, I keep seeing, you know, 444, 555, or, you know, 1010, 1212. And what that is that is spirit trying to convey a message. See, spirit is not going to come down and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, bro, or you know, Ben, turn around. I got a message for you, you know, because they vibrate on a higher frequency that in which we can't hear. They're so pure, right? So what they do is they communicate through numbers, because numbers have energies. Everything in this universe is made up of energy. So they have each number sequence has a resonance. So if you were to go look up that number, it would be a message. You know, it may be, you know, you've been having your job on your mind, you know, like, what is my next step, God? Or you may have been praying, well, God's not going to say, well, here's your answer, but he will send spirit in different forms to convey a message. So when you look up those numbers more than likely will give you the message to the question that you may have been thinking about, or something that you may have been praying about. So, you know, that's pretty much what the angel numbers are. In regards to setting the tone of the day, you know, I get to the gym, and when I get to the gym, you know, I know a lot of people say they need their workout music. They get pumped up. They might play some rap music, some R&B. I try to listen to at least 10 to 15 minutes of positive affirmations, because how you start your day sets the tone for the rest of the day. You know, you've seen people, or maybe even in your own lives, you may have stumped your foot on the edge of the bed and you like, God damn, you know, and it's just like the whole day. It's just one thing after another. And then you might even speak it out. It's like, if it's not one thing, it's another. Well, you're vocalizing. Remember, everything is energy. God created the world with words. You're vocalizing how you want the tone of your day go. So, you know, you have effect after effect based on the tone that you set in the beginning of the day. So typically, I try to start my mornings on a positive note. You know, I say my affirmations, I work out. If you don't know anything about working out releases positive endorphins in your body. It makes you feel good. And we all know the law of attraction works on how you feel. We are in a feeling world. If I can cause myself to feel good, I can attract more good into my life. So, you know, people always say, Ben, you always happy, because I understand what feeling good does. And so that's pretty much, you know, what I do and how I get my day started.
I like the feeling good thing, man, because man, you 100% correct about that, man. That the universe responds to, you know, pretty much what you put out. Man, I love it. Jermaine, it's on you, man. What about
the affirmations? It's similar to Ben, but my workout is my job. Like I said, I work at General Motors, so I'm in a body shop where I'm lifting some relatively heavy pieces of metal here throughout the night, 8 to 9, well, actually 8 to 12 hours a day. So right when I get started, me and my wife, we work at the same spot. So, you know, I walk her to her station, we give our goodbyes and whatnot, and I go to my station, get my water and stuff together, and turn my affirmations on immediately. That's one part of my day that I listen to affirmations. Then there's a time in the daytime when it's time for us to lay down so that we can get some rest for the midnight shift. I'll put them on, and she says it helps her sleep because of the tone of the voices and stuff as they say it. They say it nicely and smoothly, and it's just relaxing for her. And I actually listen to them, and sometimes I'll sit up instead of going to sleep. I'm listening to the I am a millionaire, I am rich, you know, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's me. So I have a different response to it more than she does. But after a while, you know, I fall asleep, and that resonates throughout the dreams or whatnot. Because sometimes when you sleep, you can hear still, and I'll find myself dreaming of some stuff, and you know, and listening to Napoleon Hill, you dream something, you can achieve it. You know, anything that you can think of, or it's you know, whatever your thought is, or your your desire. It's you wouldn't have the desire if you couldn't accomplish it type of situation. So, I mean, it's just motivating. All the affirmation. It's that auto suggestion that's mentioned in the book. You know, where you hear it constantly, and you're teaching your brain subconsciously to think about this stuff. And like Ben was saying, the book teaches you that anything that you think of, you are what you think of. So yeah.
Wait, Jay.
Yeah, so as the young guys say, it's no reason for me to come on here and cap. No affirmations in the morning. What I'm taking from that is that that's probably what I should do. The first thing I do when I get up is I'm immediately going to my email to see, is there a war that I need to fight? So I can get a jump on it, because with everything unfortunately that's going on in the real estate market right now, you know, my clients, because I tend to not have the most restrictive business hours, I got clients emailing me and texting me 12, 1, 2 in the morning. Like, my phone might be on do not disturb, but they're reaching out to me because they want me to get on top of something, like, as soon as I'm up.
You must be my realtor. Told you I work
So
midnight.
man, listen, that's how it is. So, for me, it I'll try to get some affirmations in if I can during the day. But to be honest with you, I haven't been doing as well with that. And I got it. That was something that, and when I still had my working career, I did it. I had a plan almost very similar to Jermaine's, where when I was still going to work every day, I would get in, get settled. You know, there may be one or two things that I got to deal with like ASAP. And then once I do that, I'm locking in. I'm listening to my affirmations. I might throw on some Audible books, and I'm good. Now, immediately I'm getting up to see what fire is there to fight, and then I'll get to my affirmation time, my prayer time, and stuff like that after that. So, I definitely want to adopt that from Ben and Jermaine, because I think, not that my days are going bad, but it's no better feeling than starting your day with affirmations. And I'm gonna budget some time in my schedule now, because I'm working out and I'm doing those things, but I'm gonna budget time in my schedule now for affirmations, because it's needed, and it keeps your mind free. You know, it keeps you fresh. And it's also part of self-care. The last thing I'm gonna say real quick is I didn't understand the concept of angel numbers prior to this conversation, but it's so funny that Ben brought that up, because before I made the decision to go into business for myself, I went through a period of a month where I woke up every day at 3:30 a.m.
Oh, snap.
Every day. And it was weird, because I started, like, I talked to my wife about it. I started calling my physician. I'm like, yo, is something going on with my body? They're like, nah, man, you all right. And, you know, when I started to pray over it, I realized, you know, my wife was like, you know, nah, God's talking to you. And, you know, there's a conversation, a message that he needs to get. So when 3:30 a.m. came, I started to look forward to it, and I would sit up. So I might sit up for 10 or 15 minutes and just ponder on my thoughts. And by the end of that period, it was like, you know, my company was leaving. They were getting ready to pay my severance. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go and work for anybody else again. Because I think this is what God is leading me to. And as soon as I set on that path, I went back to sleep through the night. I wasn't getting up at 3:30 a.m. anymore. But I didn't conceptualize it as angel numbers. So when Ben said it, I was like, oh, okay. So that's what that was.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's major. That's major. It's my first time hearing this, man.
Yeah, I haven't. The only person I've ever shared that with was my wife, because I felt like, to Ben's point, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like if I called people I knew and was like, listen, man, God talking to me, and I'm getting up at 3:30 a.m. Unfortunately, you know, some of the people I know and love, we don't have the same mindset. So when you try to bring those things up, it's like, yo, what are you doing? What, you bored? You need a friend? You know what I mean? So I kept it with her, but now that she says something, when we're done this, I'm gonna bring that back up to her, because that definitely was a powerful moment in my journey.
Yeah, big time, big time. Have you guys heard of Law of Attraction? I guess prior to reading the book, was it conceptualized? Did you hear anything in passing?
In passing, yes. I never really got in depth with it until the book. See, the book, it speaks at you in such a language that you can understand. It's like it's talking to you. It's coming from where you come from, sort of situation. So a lot of the times that the questions that Napoleon Hill was trying to answer, those were questions that I had. You know, those were common questions. So when he would ask the question and then go through the story of getting the answer to it, that's what made it such a page turner for me, because I mean, I wanted to know exactly how is it really as easy as what he's saying. And then the way that he was saying it, it was so relatable. I'm like, well, okay, well, just don't quit. Okay. And you have to have patience and persistence. Okay. All right. So you got to keep going, but you got to be patient enough to wait for the outcome. But knowing that, you know, all the different metaphors that's been used for it, such as like what was it, the ship sailing or whatnot, having a destination, and the captain of the ship does not see the destination when it leaves port, but it knows somewhere over the horizon is where the destination is going to be, and it just he shoots for it. He knows what he's doing, and then he keeps sailing until the destination comes over the horizon, and he reaches there. And it was just so many different metaphors that was used in that book, man. It just, like I said, kept me turning the pages.
Man, I haven't heard any. I wasn't into audios. I wasn't into reading books, anything like that prior to prior to Ben dropping that book on me, Think and Grow Rich, man. What about yourself, Jason? I see Jeff up.
So I'd heard.
Up, Jeff.
I heard Law of Attraction, but I heard it in the context of movies. So, like I might watch a comedy and they might talk about, a guy that's trying to pursue a woman, and they'd be like, it's the law of attraction. If you give her a certain eye contact, whatever, so on and so forth. To Jermaine's point, the book presented, so I understood the concept of it. The book presented it in more of a life affirmation kind of way. So I took it from the context that I saw it being used in, and it was like, oh, okay. And then I started to relate it to my own journey. So I started to relate and say, okay, some of these things that I've already done, it's definitely been a blessing from God, because I don't ever want to take anything away from God, but some of it has been manifested in what I push for and what I go for, and understanding it. And I think the other side of it too was, and we'll get into that in a second in discussion, but Think and Grow Rich, and then the book I read immediately after, The Secret, really tied the law of affirmation, the law of attraction, together for me completely, to understand that you attract what you manifest. And that's what I took from it.
Yeah. So while you're away, Ben, I was asking the guys, have they heard anything, either from a book or from a friend or in passing about law of attraction prior to getting introduced to the book? And you can go into depth as much.
Prior, for me, everything happened in 2011. The whole raising my state of consciousness and becoming more aware and having a better understanding about things all happened in 2011. So up until that time, I hadn't heard anything about it. But to piggyback on what you had said in terms of like manifestation, and not taking anything away from God, I think people have a misunderstanding of the two. See, God said we were created in an image of him, right? So if you're created in the image of something, that means what? You have power like it. But man chooses not to accept the power that God told you you had. So people will tend to say things like blasphemy or they're discrediting God. No, God told you. It says it in the Bible. I am that I am, and he gave you power. I believe it's Corinthians. He said, "Ye are gods." He told us that we were gods, and that's in the Bible. But again, people don't want to accept the power that was given to them, and they discredit the power that was given to them. So oftentimes they will live a mediocre life waiting on God to do something for them when he already gave you the power to do everything you wanted to do. See, people say, I'm waiting on God, or, I'm praying about it. Well, God, it's not going to rain money out of the air. He's not going to, drop your dream house, drop your dream car. But what he will do is give you the ability to manifest and attract those things through the power that he already gave you. And so you have to put forth the work, put forth the effort, and to have the faith that he said, like, you know, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. He already told us that, you know, but we chose not to accept it, and we chose not to believe it. So therefore, the majority of the population lives mediocre.
Man, well put, well said. I feel like I'm listening to Les Brown right now, or talking, man. Hey, Jason, man, look, I'm gonna leave the floor with you, man. I know you got some things you want to say or questions you want to ask or dialogues, man. So, you know, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, so I want to get to get into the book for a second. Thoughts on maybe one point that resonated from you. For me, the biggest one, and I've been standing on it since, was I can remember, and I've read it multiple times over years, reading the book. There was a story about, I can't remember what war it was, but basically they were undermanned, and they got in the ships, and the general is trying to think of the concept of how they're going to win, because everything shows that they should lose.
Right.
And, you know, as soon as they sail over to the island, he sets the ships on fire to basically say the only way that, you know, you're going to win is, you know, like you either win or you die. Like there are no other options.
Yeah.
And for me, it's so funny because it helped me to, over the years, I realized that it was preparing me for my entrepreneurship journey. Because from a law of attraction perspective, I got to the point where it was like, okay, now it's time to burn the boats.
Right.
And, you know, either you win or you die, right? So for you guys, is there anything, whether it would be a particular person that was captured in the book or anything about the book that was something that stood out to you guys in your journey?
Go ahead, I'll go first. Really, it was a few things on my end. Number one would be the come up stories. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of, you know, the underdog winning, and, you know, becoming an entrepreneur. And really throughout all my life, I always felt like I was that guy. People may have not looked at me like, you know, I'm the number one dog, but I always felt like it. And so, you know, with that being said, man, you know, with the FedEx story, well, with the Domino story, like all these stories of people, you know, just making it out from the mud and making it out from the bottom and making things happen and not giving up and pivoting, you know, that all the stories kind of resonated with me. But another one of the biggest thing I got was auto suggestion. You know, that making that subconscious effort or conscious effort enough so that it becomes embedded in your subconscious mind, and you don't even think twice about certain things. You know, I always was a big fan of writing and taking notes, and, you know, having my journals and everything like that. You know, that goes all the way back to, Jason, you know, 04, 05. And I will always have my plans on my little notepad, and I'll keep those notepads over the course of years, no matter if all the pages turn yellow. And every so often I would go back and look at, you know, look at things that I wrote down in a journal, that I was looking to accomplish. And it's like, man, I remember 5 years ago when I wanted to do this, and you know, manifest that. I did that. I accomplished that. But in the book, in the chapter Auto Suggestion, it tells you about that formula. Again, tying it back as far as for me, like, yo, I might have been doing that stuff, but not knowing what I was doing. I was just doing it because I thought that was the thing to do. Like, it's an actual formula to do that, to help manifest what you want out of your life. Of course, with the proper hard work, dedication, and everything like that behind it as well. You can't just say, you know, I'll wish for this dream job, or I'll wish for this dream car, or whatever the case might be, and it just fall out the air. It just doesn't happen like that, man. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the conscious effort, not giving up, pivoting. But also, it's power in writing stuff down, man. It talks about it in the book, the power of writing stuff down on paper, man. It makes it and I want to get Ben back on because I know he knows specifically what it does, but it's something that goes on within the universe when you, rather than just speak on it, when you actually write it down, when you look at it. Let me add Ben back in. When you look at it, man, and bro, it brings it that much to life, especially when you really, really, really know in your heart and believe in your heart that you can make it happen no matter what. Man, out of nowhere, you'll get a phone call, you'll get an email or something like that, and boom, you know, what you've been writing down, you manifested it, man. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if you heard it,
I
Ben.
heard it all. I heard it all.
Yeah, yo, I know you know specifically about that. So
So when it comes to writing things down, um, the first way to take something from spirit or from invisible to physical is to actually put it on paper. Everything is just a thought until it has a blueprint. You know, it's just like when a person builds a house, the guys don't just go to the site and start putting up bricks. That thought has to leave from that person's mind and become physical. And how does it do that? It goes from invisible to physical by being put on paper. Now we can visually see what it is that we want, right? And then once it's on the paper in the physical, now what that does is it does something to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind works off of pictures. One of the things that my mentor told me was, you don't get what you want in life, you get what you picture in life. And so if that's the case, that means I need to give my brain or my subconscious mind pictures. And then the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind will go out into the ether and attract situations, circumstances, and opportunities to match what has been pictured in that person's mind. You know, so that's pretty much how the power in writing things down, constantly seeing it over and over and over.
yeah, look, I knew you had the I knew you had the rundown for it, man. That's why I had to make sure I get you back on before we get to that point. But the Jason question, he was asking about you know, what are some things, parts of the chapter or parts of the book that stood out to you the most, that you know that your spirit immediately.
Yeah, for me, it was understanding how the subconscious mind works, because I mean that's what controls our destiny. You know, we are so focused on the conscious mind and trying to figure out how this is going to happen and how that's going to happen, but it's a power that's greater than us that has the answer to everything, right? And so I was intrigued on figuring out how to make the subconscious mind work in my favor so that I can achieve my dreams, my goals, my desires, so that I can attract the things that I want in my life. So it was the chapter of the subconscious mind. Another chapter that was very intriguing to me that I kept going back to, because I'm the type of person, I always want to understand. I always want to I'm very hungry for information, and anybody will tell you that about me. Once I want something, I don't stop until it's done. And it can be a gift and a curse, because sometimes I get impatient, like just trying to dig so deep. But the next chapter that intrigued me was sex transmutation. I wanted to understand what was it about sex transmutation that could help you become successful. And after looking at it for over a year, I finally somewhat figured out what it does. And I mean, if you guys want to hear, I'm glad to share.
Speak on it.
Yeah, so sex transmutation talks about energy. Okay, so again, everything is energy. The strongest energy that exists on the face of the earth is the energy of sex and love, right? I want you to think about it like this. When a man or a woman is aroused, right? That feeling of attraction, of wanting to engage or indulge in intimacy is very, very strong. And it's so strong that some people can't control it. Some men or women run the risk, and it says this, I quote from Think and Grow Rich, Rich, run the risk of jeopardizing their character or their reputation to actually indulge in it. That's how strong that energy is, right? So if you can take that same energy of when you're aroused and redirect your thoughts to something that you desire other than intimacy, it intensifies that thought frequency to help manifest what it is that you want quicker. I hope I said that,
Yeah, you
so
got
that
it.
you can understand.
Yeah.
So like, if you think about it, if you look at a piece of paper, right? If I take a piece of paper and I draw a perforated line on it, just dot, 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 right? It's pause in between each line. I want you to compare that to you thinking about something. You think about it, then you stop. You think about it, then you stop. You think about it, then you stop, right? Well, that slows down the law of attraction. But if I draw a straight line on the paper, it's constant. You ever had one of those thoughts about something, one of your burning desires that you want so bad, you can't stop thinking about it. It's on your mind the minute you wake up. It's on your mind all throughout the day. It's on your mind when you go to sleep. And you just can't stop thinking about it. And I want you to think about during that time, how quickly you were able to attract situations, circumstances, and events to make that desire come to fruition. It never fails. That's what Think and Grow Rich talked about when they said a burning desire. It's like you cannot stop thinking about it. You cannot stop putting the energy in it because everything is energy. Everything, you're constantly attracting what you want, whether you want to accept it or not. And so that's what what happens is when you have sex transmutation, you're taking your thought from that perforated line to that straight line that has no breaks in between it. It's a burning desire. It's a white hot. You want it badly, just like you want to have intimacy.
Deep stuff, man. Deep stuff. And but burning desire is all throughout the book. So if it talks about, maybe you guys will pick up on it soon, or maybe you guys will pick up on it later. I think the talks about that. But one of the things is burning desire all throughout the book. Burning desire, burning desire. But Jermaine, go ahead. It's on you, man. And any things that throughout the book that you read that really stuck out to you and resonated with you, and could be something that you continue to use today.
Well, kind of a little bit of everything. I mean, each chapter, it's one peak in every chapter that would hit me like, well, yeah, okay, well, this is something I got to work on, or this is something that I'm actually already doing that I know is working type stuff. So I was pretty much like not necessarily nitpicking, but throughout the whole book, I was taking little stuff from here and there and putting it to work immediately. I was taking notes and leaving bookmarks and everything else the time when I was reading the book. And that's why Ben's book, Eagle's Mandate, I really love that book because it actually gives you a workbook. What I was doing with the book itself, he's condensed it and made it into something that was just an excellent idea, man. But besides that, it's certain stuff like, okay, I'm in the car. So Henry Ford is really big, especially where I'm from. He bought the whole city of Dearborn pretty much before starting it off. If you don't get out of my room with all this, I got 7 kids, y'all. So I got.
Now look, man.
All right. But he's doing all his extra mess. It's my junior right here. But anyway, yeah, Henry Ford, the way he made his decisions, he made his decisions quickly, but changed them slowly. Now that is something that I have to work on, because when it's when you have a spouse, you know, you're thinking for two, or you know, happy wife, happy life type situation. So certain times you might say, well, nah, this is not gonna work out, or this is gonna work out, and this and that. Or you go through with something and then you find out that either it's going to take up too much time, or it's going to interfere with something, and you change your mind off of it. Then here comes down the line, like Ben, you said you had the cleaning, the biochem cleaning company.
Right.
Oh man, you should have seen that. I could feel the back of my neck get hot because my wife was sitting behind me yesterday when we talked. I could feel it getting hot, because that's what one of the businesses that she wanted to start up when we're back in the Detroit area.
Okay.
And she had seen the movie. Well, actually, before she even seen the movie, she had so many signs to start this company. It was this company called Jam Pro that you could do, where you could. It was a small entrepreneurship business. And she said she wanted to do that at first, and then she said she started going into chemical thing, and then like 2 different movies came out. One where these 2 white ladies were cleaning up biochemical thing. I think Sunshine something or another. And then Samuel Jackson. I think Samuel Jackson had a movie right after that, and she was like, and where he cleaned up murder scenes, and he was tricked into cleaning up a murder scene. That it was a good movie though, but it just kept seeing these signs of this business, and that I said, well, I don't know, and changed the mind off of, and now here you are, you know, umpteen years later. This was back in like 2003, 2004. She was talking about that. So yeah, that one thing about you know, when you make up your mind, you know, stick with it and go with it. That's another thing about the persistence also. I mean, you don't let a bump in the road change the course, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's quite a few different ones. I'm trying to think back, because I read the book just a few weeks ago, and I started to reread it just to catch up on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Power to Mastermind, that chapter. The only problem I have with that chapter is, until this right here that we're doing here, it's hard to find my like-minded people that you would want to actually incorporate into business. Like, this is the discussion here, and this is wonderful. But when it comes to like business, everybody wants their, that it's hard to find some people to come together to play a role in a business. Everybody wants to be the top dog in situations like that. So my mastermind is just me and her. Like for our FBA Amazon partnership, it's just me and her that does that. And we actually have the third person, as mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, where when 2 people talk, you get another idea, and it seems like it's coming from a third person, but it's actually the two people going back and forth, and then another third idea comes out of it. You get an idea from bouncing off of each other, and that's pretty much is what's coasting us through right now. But in order to grow bigger, we're gonna have to. I mean, when you're certain stuff that you don't know, like it says in Think and Grow Rich, you hire somebody that does know, but you still keep it your business. I'm not sure if I'm losing the connection here. My stuff keeps spinning, but I don't want to take the conversation too long. But yeah, that it's quite a few of them, quite a few chapters, and quite a few different things that stick out like sore thumbs to me.
Yeah, for sure, man. We running up on an hour. I don't know if IG might cut us off. So definitely everybody, man, if you haven't read the book, get the book, Think and Grow Rich. I gotta get that part too as well. Yeah, I got mine right here.
All right. Yeah, you gotta get this one too, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Dennis Kimbrough,
send me that. Send me
I
that.
sure will.
For that one. But also tap into the book more than once. And
yes.
Something that Ben told me early on, like, bro, you can't just read things once. Because as you go throughout, your own journey, you might want to tap into it again, because you look at it in a different set of eyes, because you become a different person. And maybe that one thing that wasn't clear to you, it now makes sense to you. So, you know, I'm probably on maybe my fourth time reading a book, as well as other audios that I frequent. But what I want to do, man, before we get out of here, I want to give, you know, both of you guys, you know, maybe like 60 seconds or so to, you know, just let the audience know what you got going on, as well as where people can find you at. You know, I'm gonna start the floor with Ben. I know you got the book out. So,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure, for
definitely talk
sure.
about the book. And you just did a giveaway, man, which is pretty dope as well. So
Absolutely.
you talk a little bit about the giveaway, talk a little bit about the book, as well as what you do and where people can find you.
So you can find me on Facebook at my main page is Williams Benjamin. It's backwards because I couldn't choose any other way. But Williams Benjamin on Facebook. On YouTube, you can catch me at Real Talk Ben. On IG, obviously, you can catch me at I am Ben Williams Jr. The book is now out. Again, you can purchase it on Amazon. You can purchase it on Audible. Very short read. And what I wanted to do is like you guys were talking about earlier. I just wanted to create something that would allow individuals to achieve their goals. You know, without having to read something extremely long. So what I did was I pretty much made a condensed version of piggybacking off of Think and Grow Rich. It was Think and Grow Rich Inspire, but with workshops in between each principle so that a person could now take those principles and put them to action, because works without action is dead, you know, or faith without works is dead rather. So you definitely have to put forth the action. And so the book gives you that template. You don't have to look elsewhere. You can use that template and start to create that blueprint, just like we talked about in terms of building a house and manifest your dreams and goals. So that's pretty much what I got going on right now. You know, you can reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to get the book from me directly. Go to my Instagram, because actually I did do the giveaway. The giveaway was for the Bentley dinner out or $777. So we did that yesterday. But today, I want y'all to check out my Instagram, or anybody who's watching. I jumped out of a plane. I did some skydiving today. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to drop the video about what skydiving taught me. And I think it'll be pretty interesting, and a lot of people will gain some inspiration from that video that I'm going to drop tomorrow morning. So that's what I got going.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Jermaine.
Okay, well, Jermaine Griffin. You can find me at I have the Griffin Family Ballin'. It was my name, Jermaine Griffin 6, I believe, before, but we're trying to make all of social media platforms all the same name. Also on YouTube is Griffin Family Ballin'. It used to be the Griffin Family Ballin' under a budget, showing you guys how we're doing family stuff, family pranks, cars, a little bit of everything in there, showing how you can raise 7 kids with a little bit of a little bit of nothing, whatnot. I make pretty decent, but when it comes to 7 kids, it gets thin sometimes. But let's see. Also, Facebook, I think it's just Jermaine Griffin or Isis Griffin. That's pretty much all that we have going on. But come check out the YouTube. You can see a lot of funny stuff on there, man. See all the personalities.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hall, I'm gonna leave you with the final words, man. You know, if there's any other things, this looks like they gave us a little bit of extension, so I ain't getting no time out. So, you know, the floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm just so glad to have you guys on, and I'd love to revisit this conversation and have you guys back, because it's such a layered conversation, and I think that this conversation will open the minds of others that are willing to understand and manifest, because, you know, I think it's such a great contrast, because, you know, hearing Ben speak and then, you know, just following him and watching him, this is his persona and his aura. And when you come across people who are trying to achieve the things that I assume from a distance that Ben is trying to achieve, those things are manifested. What you don't see is someone, everyone I know that's in a lane like Jermaine that has a great career at a Fortune 500 company, a lot of them tend to become complacent. And the thought process of affirmations or trying to grow something or trying to build something isn't big, because in our community, like I was raised, generations before me, all you needed was a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. You don't need affirmations. A good job in the Bible is all you need to survive. The idea of building wealth, affirmations, how it passed down, the law of attraction isn't talked about. So I think it's such a great contrast, because you get Ben's approach being someone that wrote a book, which I'm gonna order as soon as we get off of here.
Appreciate it.
And then, to get it from Jermaine's perspective of, oh yeah, I work at General Motors, and in my day, if I go to one of my uncles or something like that and say a guy works at General Motors, they only want to hear about the book. They sold. Like, he's the guy. Like they don't like GM, Social Security, the post office, like he's set for life.
Yeah.
But to see both contrast leading us to this place, I think it's a great discussion, and I'd love for the next discussion to be more of an open forum, where we put a bunch of people like-minded in a room and see what comes out of it, man. So I think it was a great conversation, and I'm glad you guys took the time to come out and support our platform. And you family of the show now, so we'd love to have you back in the future.
Truly honored, man. Truly honored that you guys even asked. I'm truly honored. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Look, this is the beginning stages. So, when we get a yes from somebody, man, look, you automatically family. Because you could anything else, with your family, you got 7 kids,
Oh, yeah.
running multiple ventures, so you can be doing something out with the missus at dinner. So we both greatly appreciate that, man. And as Jason said, man, it's just beginning with us. We do plan to, once the world gets a little bit closer to normal, to have it more so of a broadcasting style where, we're not doing it virtually. We're possibly doing it in person, where we're, maybe flying individuals in or flying out to that individual and set up at a shop, and just hold court there, man. But that's all for today, man. I thank you everybody for tuning in. Opulent M3, J Ford, Gino Capone, CEO Sass, Sassy, Stone, Logic Enterprise, BBS3, Shaq Diesel, Cray 3 LLC, Eamon, Contrast, man. There's tons of folks that was coming up in here, dropping gems, shouting us out. Ash, bro, we on something, Hall. We on something, and we just gonna keep this train moving, bro.
We're gonna keep pushing it.
Absolutely.
Every week, our goal is to bring more people onto the platform that's new, or just alumni, people who've been on before, or me and Jay, we might just get on and we might just talk, and we might bring in random people who just want to join the conversation. So bro, this is Network is My Network podcast live show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We see y'all on the next one, and as I always say, stay positive, stay motivated. Salute.
All right, fellas.
All right.